So I'd say the Pacific Northwest has really shaped my love for the sport and my skill set. This is really where I started to learn how to ride a bike as a new rider. This is also where I started really cutting my teeth on learning how to jump the bike.
So in the way when you watch a professional athlete do what they do best, it looks like it's so easy and it just comes naturally. Sydney has put in her time, she's put in her work, and it's such a joy for me to watch her process. Hi, my name is Becca Rotenberg. I'm the founder and head coach of Brave Endeavors, mountain bike skills and strength training, and I live and work here in Hood River, actually specifically here in Post Canyon. I think one of the coolest things about Sydney is how she's a real person. And what I mean by that is she has a full-time job. She's an engineer. Homegirl is smart. And yet her mountain biking she's such a good rider, and she just loves to improve and work on her skills and her progression. But she doesn't compete. She's not a professional athlete. In terms of it's not her primary job.
I feel like my buddies are a really great gauge of either, hell yeah, you got this, or hey, we're getting tired, let's pack it up for the evening. And I love that. I feel like I could session a jump line all evening. So I love the gauge and the check of like, hey, let's call it. And so my buddies definitely keep me physically in check, which keeps me going and keeps me mentally in check. It's been extremely challenging to balance riding with my other responsibilities this year, but I'm really lucky to just live so close to the riding here in the gorge. I've also felt that a work hard, play hard mentality has gone a really long way for me. I try to bust out my responsibilities kind of as timely as possible so that I have time and energy to ride at the end of the day. I also feel like setting a goal or intention for my riding has been super healthy. It's easy to be really scatterbrained or really slammed with responsibilities. So setting one goal and one intention has kind of helped me narrow my focus. I've also started becoming more okay with breaks away from the bike. So if I'm really busy or not in the right headspace, I just simply won't go on a challenging ride. And I feel like that's also just played a really key role into injury prevention for me and keeping me kind of going and healthy and having good longevity on the bike. It's all a balancing act, but I feel like keeping all of these mantras or things in mind has kept me going. I have been open to many different areas of the country and Northwest for where I want to move and kind of be situated, and nowhere has spoken as loudly as the Hood River area. I can basically do all of my sports and activities within a 20-minute radius, so it's very convenient in that way. And then in terms of riding, it situates me pretty well to get to other spots in the Northwest to ride. So the Seattle area, Bellingham, Whistler, it's all more or less in proximity. Same with the Salem area. So Hood River is definitely a great spot to kind of be situated in the middle of it all in terms of riding and other sports. I feel like the community around here helps keep me balanced and centered. They motivate me to get out after a long work day or work week, and everybody is got the similar mentality of work hard, play hard. So keeps me going, keeps me motivated, and yeah. Yeah, I was first introduced to mountain biking in 2016 when I moved to the Hood River area. I moved to the area for an internship, and I was interning at this tiny little vineyard that was adjacent to Post Canyon, which Post Canyon is the local riding area in the Hood River Valley. And I met some people through work and through the wine industry that invited me on a group ride. And so I agreed to go on this group ride. I hardly had any gear, but they had a bike for me to borrow, which was great. And I show up to the group ride, and I remember very vividly them handing me a shock pump, asking me if I wanted to set up the bike to my body weight and all that good stuff. And I remember just staring at them, knowing nothing about mountain bikes, like, what do I do with this shock pump? But they were super kind, non-judgmental. We ended up having a really great group ride that evening. And then at the end of that group ride, they actually asked me if I wanted to borrow that bike for the summer, which looking back on is so crazy. But I agreed to borrow the bike for the summer, and then I just tried to get out as much as I could. Kind of just the combination of coincidence and the generosity of those people I met through work is really what introduced me to the sport initially. I feel like the women in mountain biking are on a bit of a tear right now. They've always been, but it feels like the momentum and the representation of women in the sport is stronger than ever. I feel like lately I've seen a lot more women just out on the trail. I've also seen a lot more women-focused events between women's jump jams, trail building events, bike mechanic clinics, that kind of thing. The momentum for equal representation of women in the sport is strong, and I'm excited to continue to see it grow and get stronger.